he's going to start this bloke, so I thought I'd go first. I've been a journalist my whole life. And basically, look, I can't get a job as a journalist now.
Yeah, welcome back to Sportsday, and that audio there is from Paul Kent being interviewed by everyone's good mate.
Oh, mate, Chimpy Gillis, one of the great men
Steve
of rugby
Gillis
league.
Chimes, one of the great managers, former journo, and our next guest is Paul Kent, who I've got to say, one of the great sports journalists we've had across rugby league for many years. And, well, he's got a new venture that's just on the horizon. We wanted to catch up with him and help him promote it and also see what's going on in his life. How are you, Kenty?
Yeah, good, Sats. Everything's going all right, so just waiting to see what this next step looks like now.
Well, the next step is, you do it with trepidation, or you can just kick the front door down. But the last couple of years for you, for a number of reasons, hasn't been a pleasant one. One, there was a malicious accusation set to try and destabilise you, and then there was a much publicised scrap outside the Sydney establishment. Are you getting back to some normality, mate, in life?
Oh, mate. Look, that's the plan, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I hope it is. You know what I mean? I don't know what's obviously around the corner. But, look, the plan is just to get back to it. Things have happened. My trajectory's sort of taken a bit of a sideways sort of slant. But, mate, you've just got to pick yourself up and keep going. So That's what I'm doing.
Oh, I love that, Kenny. And what I also love is your podcast logo. Whose idea was it to throw the tree in the footy? Was it you, or it was one of your production team, or what was it? Because I love the way you've just lent into it and people have rallied behind it.
Yeah, look, it was my idea. I wanted to sort of throw a tree in there somewhere. Bloke, who's helped me out with it, who actually did it, he threw it in the footy, which he said, "What do you think?" I said, "Mate, I love it." I said, "Let's just keep," because he had other options without the tree and all the rest of it. So I said, "No, let's just keep the tree and go for it." And Boo Bailey did me a cartoon up with the tree in more pleasant sort of times, you know what I mean? So off you go. Look, I can't hide from it. I'm not trying to hide from it. It happened. It is what it is. So if I've tried, if you try and run from it, it's got to catch you. You know what I mean? And I know that as well, if not better than most. So fact is, move on. The tree's part of it all now, so they can stay part of it as far as I'm concerned. I've actually got a company called Avoid the Tree now. So,
I've got to say,
great.
Avoid the Tree Enterprises.
Yeah, Kenny, I've got to say, the only thing you can do and laugh and move on and make sure you've got good people around you that support you and are there the entire time. Now, I do want to, and the reason why we want to get you on also is on the back of that really good interview you did with Steve Gillis Chimes. It's a really good podcast called Chiming In, and I implore a lot of the listeners to go and listen to that. But you were talking about the tree that was involved in that incident, which you ended up wrapped around. But you said you drive past sometimes and people are placing things at the tree still today. Is that correct?
Yeah. You go. There's a piece of not a piece, a packet of PK chewing gum. That it's seen better days, to be honest. Like normally, if it's a new one, you might pick it up. But I'm only joking. I wouldn't pick it up. But no. But look, there are people. Initially, the people were putting flowers down, and there was a wreath there one day. Then PK chewing gum and other things have been sort of placed there. But I drive. Look, it's not actually. It's only a few hundred metres from where I live, so I go past the tree quite a bit. Try not to remember too much what I do, but I'll go past, and there's less so now, but for a while there was multiple things left under the tree, so look, everyone seems to enjoy it anyway.
Yeah, well, Kenny, the beautiful thing about today's day and age is there's opportunity to put media out there on your own, and you're doing that with your podcast. What's the premise of the podcast?
I'm just going to talk footy still, you know what I mean? I'm sort of, look, it's one of those things, to a bit to your point, man, is like, there's such a wide open world with all this stuff now, and you can start somewhere and end up somewhere you completely unexpected. And look, I'm going to come in. The show's not going to be, I'm not going to do an interview show where people sit down and I interview them for an hour or stuff. I'll do some of that every now and then, but that won't be the basic premise. Basically, I'm going to just jump into the issues in footy, which is what I did on 360, and just come on and talk about stuff. And I'm not going to try and bore everyone and talk for an hour and a half and all that sort of stuff. I'll come on, I'll do... The moment I'm looking to come on for 3-4 days a week, do half an hour, and that'll be it. And then just move on and just give people something to listen to on their way home from work.
Do you think, Kenty, I suppose, you've been in the face of the public for a number of years now, whether it's as a writer or being on TV, like shows like 360, there is a large contingent or population of people out there that really enjoy that honest opinion around where the game's at, what's happening in the game?
Look, yes, there is, right? There certainly is, and that's sort of been the overwhelming support I've got. Okay, if people go, oh, look, it'd be good to have someone who will come back and no agendas, just call as they see it, and I know I say things that other people might not, other journalists might not, but that's also the reason I've got a lot of people saying, mate, piss off, never come back. You know what I mean? It goes both ways with me. I get that, though. I don't actually care too much. Like if you don't like me, so be it. I'm not going to cry on my pillow over that. I'm just going to get on with things. And, there's some people that like that. There's some people that don't like that. I've got sort of some ideas about the whys and whatnot, but, I appreciate honest talk. Even when it's been about me, I understand it. I've never complained with all the stuff that's happened to me in the past 2 years about what's been said or who said what or whatever. So as far as I'm concerned, I think there is an appetite for that. And that's sort of probably, that's why I've been, had the success I've had, because I just had that attitude that, I'll tell you where it started with me. I was sitting in a studio one day doing TV, and some people came in, and they were talking about a head-eye tackle the night before. And they'll go, mate, that was disgraceful. He should have got sent off, and he should get 3-4 weeks for that, right? And that was the overwhelming sentiment around the game at the time. And then when we went on TV, because the ex-players on TV all still want to be friends and want to be welcomed into dressing rooms and all the rest of it, and the matter of the tackle came up. They said, oh, look, I didn't see too much wrong with it. Hopefully it's not too bad. And I thought, well, hang on a second. This is like the complete opposite of what you said off camera. But on camera, they wanted to be popular. They wanted to be liked. And they said something that was basically inoffensive. And I said, well, I think you should get a bit of time for this. And I said, oh, mate, that's a bit harsh. And I just thought, you blokes are unreal. Like you've just said, I heard you say the opposite before the show, right? But there's too much of that in our commentary. And I think it's particularly Australian media, we have that sort of attitude, particularly in sport, Australian sport. We have this, let's just be mates with everybody. And not that I don't want to be mates, but I just think that if you have an honest approach to things, then you can only, that's the way it is. You then it's fair. If it's honest, it's fair. And if it's fair, that's all you can ask for, and that's where it is.
Yep.
Great way to approach it.
It is, and like you're saying, I think there is a large contingent of people out there that have the appetite for that. If you had to give some advice, Kenty, to a journo that's coming through, whether it's on TV, whether in print media, whatever it may be, and they said to you, how do you ignore the cynics, Paul? Well, what would your advice be to them?
Get to know who you are. You know what I mean? Like, as you obviously, I've got a lot of people who are cynics towards me, who don't like me. I get abusive messages, but I don't put any value in their opinion of me, and I don't judge my self-worth by their opinion of me. And the same way it goes, though, when I get praise, I don't sit there and, because a couple of people say some nice things to me, I'm not up on my toes prancing around. Like, I know who I am. I know what I can do. I know what I can't do. I know what I'm good at. I know what I'm bad at. And I'm fairly honest with myself through all that. And I've got good mates around me who keep me honest as well. If it ever happens, which is rarely, if ever it does. And I just think as long as you're sure of who you are and what you stand for, then you can't get yourself into too much trouble, right? Whether people agree with it or not. But the amount of times I've dealt with people who have said something, and then 2 days later in another interview, they'll say the exact opposite of what they told me.
Mm.
And I just think because they just they try and read where you're going as an interviewer, and so what they'll do is they'll take you there. But if you're sure of who you are and what your beliefs are, what your values are, then you just stay true to those, and then you just let the work come around that. And rightly or wrong, you can't be wrong in that situation. You might not be factually right, but as far as your values and being true to yourself, you can't be wrong. You might make a mistake. I don't say I'm always right and all of that. I don't. If you make a mistake, then according to your own values, you go and apologise for it or you fix it up. But as long as you're sure who you are and you stick to who you are, you don't try and be. If a boss puts pressure on you to write a certain story or take a certain angle, and it's uncomfortable with you, don't do it. Just don't do it. The amount of times the boss would send me out on a job, and I'd be like, I'm not comfortable with that. So I just come back and write the story I was comfortable with. And sometimes they said, mate, not what I wanted, so we're going to throw it in the bin. And other times, I tried to do it well, so that way I could convince them, well, this is still a pretty good story or whatever, and you get it written. You know what I mean? So as long as you're true to yourself, and I think that just goes anywhere in life, and just know who you are, what you stand for, what you don't stand for. Probably starts with what you don't stand for.
Yep.
Before you figure out what you do stand for, and then from there you just let that be your guide forward.
Kenny, do you miss it? Do you miss being on NRL 360? Do you miss the banner with the guys? Do you miss the interaction?
Not really, to be honest.
No.
I miss the wage. Can I say that?
You can.
Oh, that's honest.
That's honest. Look, it's funny, when all that happened, I was under, with everything that's happened, it's hard to sort of separate it all.
Yeah.
But I was feeling the pressure of it all, and I was feeling, I was getting to the point where work wasn't. I wasn't particularly enjoying work. I was trying my hardest to find things in it I could enjoy. Now that's more on me than work. I should say. But certainly, I think at its best, the industry's changed a lot. The other thing, the industry's changed so much that it's not what I came into. It's and I've sort of got to accept the fact that I'm sort of the dinosaur in the industry now. Like I'm the old guy who reminisces about how good it used to be. It's not like that anymore. That said, these young kids who are all sort of doing their stuff now, this is all they know. So this is what they value. So. Off they go. But I wouldn't say, I haven't missed going to work. To answer your question simply, I haven't. But I do have to get back to work, and I'm just going to try and do this, when I start this podcast, do it in a way that I do find fun. I want to make it fun for me and for those who come and help me with it, and that's what we'll try and do.
Well, there's one guy you're going to have a lot of fun with because he's been one of your loyal supporters and one of your great friends for a number of years and has a great rugby league mind you. Johnny Elias is also going to appear as one of your co-hosts throughout the journey as well, PK?
Yeah, it's funny. It's like when people find out we're friends, we sort of get a bit of a second look, Occasionally we'll be sitting together having a coffee or a beer or whatever, and someone walks in from the rugby league world, and they look at us together, and it's always a double take. But we just, we've just found a friendship, and we disagree on things, and we agree on a lot of other things, and we interest each other. So we just, the friendship was sort of born, and part of my sort of problem with me getting this thing is it was a bit slow to sort of get started. He just said, mate, I'll help you, and I think he can help me and I can help him, and I think it'll work. Yeah,
he's got some great stories as well.
Oh, mate, absolutely.
Hey, so we've got a lot of listeners, I think, that will really enjoy the podcast. So tell us, Kenty, when does it launch?
Going to do one Friday, come out Friday afternoon will be the first, and then next week I reckon I'll put out about 4, maybe 5.
What's it called?
And it's going to. I plan to keep it that way all year.
What's it called?
So it'll be like Monday afternoon, 5 o'clock. I think we're planning to come out. Tuesday 5 Wednesday 5, Thursday 5, and then I'll do another longer one, which will be just, a bit more sort of in-depth about things, and that'll come out. We haven't quite figured out that one yet, but we're going to probably do that Thursday or Friday next week as well.
So 3 to 4 eps a week you're sort of putting out. Did I count that right?
Yeah, I will be. Yeah,
Nice.
I think there's an avenue. Yeah,
You got to stay.
A lot of people get podcasts these days. Yeah, and there's an avenue for, I think, daily commentary on the game.
Oh, absolutely.
There always has been. That's
Absolutely.
what 360 is. Yeah.
So what are the
That's what I'll
listeners
do,
search?
and we'll get going from there.
What's it called?
Oh, it's just going to be called. I think we're going to call it Kenty, to be honest. I think we sort of
Nailed it.
We really dug deep on the name.
You put the marketing geniuses in a room. Don't come out for 24 hours without.
Yeah.
Yeah. Love it, Kenny. That's great. Kenty.
Yeah, they came out. But look, the fact is, to be fair, I don't want people trying to search too hard for it. If they can't find that, then they're not going to find anything.
No, you're right.
So,
you're right.
Does this mean you're officially an influencer and next is OnlyFans?
No. Could you imagine what that would look like?
Oh, no, I don't, Kenny.
No.
Please, stop talking.
Anyway, hey,
No, we
Paul
can leave
Kent,
that alone.
It's an exciting journey for you, the next chapter of your life, and I really love that you've taken time out to have a chat to us, to launch the podcast. We know it's going to be a success because, as I said, there's going to be a lot of our listeners, both here in Australia and in New Zealand, that I think will enjoy
tuning in. There's
absolutely.
no
We'll enjoy the angle. So, Paul Kent, congratulations and good luck on the journey, and thanks for joining us on Sportsday, mate.
Thanks, guys. I really appreciate it.
What? You want more? Well, then make sure you follow our socials and listening live to SEN Radio for your daily dose of Sports Day with Sats and Rat.